Hello, everybody. I believe we are live now. Welcome to already in July. I can't believe that we're already in July, the second week, I guess. Like, time is just flying by way too fast already. Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Philip. I am on the customer support team at inFlow. I've probably chatted with a lot of you. Welcome all to our webinar today. I'm joined by the lovely Katya and Iliano. If they want to introduce themselves, I'm going to get us posted on Facebook right now.
Thank you, Ileana. As you guys might know, my name is Katya. I am on the CSM team. I also may have spoken with some of you, so super excited to have you guys join for our webinar today. And then, Ileano, take it away.
I'm Eliana, obviously. I'm also from the customer success team. I've been here since 2020, and if you're in Europe or Australia, parts of Asia, most likely I'll be your CSM. So hope that we can help you guys today with the Document Designer, a very, very nice new feature that we hope that helps throughout your daily tasks.
Long time coming, long time coming. But I do see a lot of people saying hello in the chat there. I see Noah from Longmont, Scott from Denver, Rachel, Omaha, Julie, Minnesota. I see Minneapolis, England. Pal is in Toronto. There you go. Another local Canadian. So many coming in. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all here. Boston, Iowa. Look at this. Vancouver. Got people all over the place. It's still technically morning for us here, so excuse me if we're still waking up. I know for some people like England, whatever, you're already kind of finishing your day, so or afternoon, I guess, not finished yet. But yeah, today I'm super excited to be going over the document designer. This is something that is a long time coming. This is a new feature that thankfully I was actually able to help collaborate with the team on. So I know it a little bit better than some of the other people on the team, but just also really near and dear to my heart because I've had many years of trying to help people troubleshoot their custom documents with both on-premise and then like our legacy software and everything. So yeah, I'm really excited to go over this today. What are we going to go over? We are going to go over just a really high overview of what it is, the different document types and why they're important, all the different types of blocks that you can do, and then I am going to demo it all, so we'll kind of go over step by step like how you can customize all the different things, where all the different options are and stuff. And then we do have a giveaway for everyone who sticks around at the end. So we will pick one lucky person to win a gift card. So. Hopefully, you are all as excited about it as me. So, first up, what is the document designer? So, I got a serious question for everybody here. How many of you, it doesn't have to have been with inFlow, but how many of you have ever had to use Microsoft Word's mail merge feature before? This is a feature where you can take information from any kind of source, like a CSV file, an Excel file, something like that. You make a template in Word, and then it somehow magically mushes them together and then pops out kind of like a Word doc that you can kind of print out. This is what we use for our custom documents and everything before. Um, I see a few yeses coming in. I see, oh, Molly loves that feature. I don't know if that's sarcastic or not, but if you do love it, then unfortunately we're moving away from mail merge, but I also see some no's coming in there, so good. Some of you haven't had to necessarily deal with Microsoft Mail Merge, but I can say we have. That's what we used to use. This is an example of kind of what the template used to look like. And while it did work, and it worked for many years, and we were able to get a lot of the stuff done that we needed to. It's not the easiest to work with. It takes a lot of fiddling around with formatting, can get really tricky. So we wanted to make something a lot simpler, but also still have the option of being really powerful for people that actually needed it. So with that, we are introducing our all new document designer, and nobody can do it better than The Office and Steve Carell there. But This is, again, a great new feature that will make customizing all your different sales and purchase documents way easier. We've also got like kind of more options in there available. So we're going to go over all that today. So this is kind of just a high level of it, but the designer has been made to be flexible and powerful. So we've got 17 different document types. These are all of our sales documents as well as our purchasing documents. Things like stock transfers and like the more inventory related documents hopefully will be coming in the future at some point. Kind of actually, I guess, once we've got even more feedback about like how the document designer is working right now with these ones and everything, and then we'll look at adding those extra document types later. It's again made to be really easy, so it's got drag and drop for like reordering and moving things around. You can customize everything really easily, plus and minuses to add or remove information. You can actually resize columns, which again was something that was really difficult in like the mail merge Word docs. And then we actually even do support HTML and CSS for people that really need it. Now, that's not something that we expect everybody to be using. We don't expect you to become a developer or a coder or anything like that. But if you do have people like that on your team and you really want something customized, it is there available for you. I will also caveat that with our team, our support team, are not developers, so you can send us questions about it. We can't guarantee that we'll be able to answer every question about it because HTML and CSS is a huge thing in the world, and we don't all kind of know how to work with it, but we will do our best to try and help where people need it. So let's go over the different document types. So as I had said, there are 17 different document types. As you can see on this picture here, it is all the sales documents as well as all the purchasing ones. So you've got your quotes, your receipts, your invoices, all those kinds of things, even like the receiving notes and like your pick list and stuff. We do also even have, you'll notice at the end, a generic one for both of them, and we'll go into that a little bit more later. Now, why are these different document types important? They're actually really important because they control or affect some of the information that's available in the documents themselves. So when you look at like your sales documents, like your invoices versus your sales order document or your pick list or different things like that, a lot of them, if you look at it right now, look very similar. I mean, you have the same header, you have like a product list and stuff like that, but they actually do display slightly different information. So for example, who notices the differences on here? I mean, I do have them highlighted, so it's a little cheating, but we've got a pick list on the top here and a sales order on the bottom. So while it's both product tables for both of them, you can see that actually the pick list we're showing the location and sublocation, where the sales order we're showing like things like prices and subtotals and stuff, which is not being shown on there. So picking the right type of document that you want to edit or create, because you can create them from scratch if you want to, is going to affect what information you're actually able to display on it. Now, the other important reason for this is that I believe invoice is really the only one that does this, but some of the documents do have special like actions, I guess you would call it, that happen when you use them. So for instance, the invoice, and you can see in this little GIF here that when you do print an invoice on a sales order, if you haven't filled in the invoice date, it actually automatically fills it in for you. So again, you won't want to create an invoice one for a pick list or something that when you're printing it, all of a sudden it's going to be filling in that information and you're not expecting it. And like I was saying, we've created a new type called generic, and this actually lets you then pick right in the options which like product table you want it to pull that information from. So if you want it to pull from your main sales orders, your receiving, your returns, or your unstock tabs. Okay, so the document blocks then. It maybe, I think it should show up pretty good on here, but I created this little picture here to show this is kind of like one of our default documents from inFlow itself right now. So this is one of the receipt documents from your sales orders, and it's actually broken up into what we consider blocks. So each one of these little things that I've highlighted here in red are a different block. You can see on the top row here we have two different ones, a letterhead and a title. The second row we have is an order details block. Then we have product details, and again at the bottom, order details and summary. I see Jim asking, great question right there. Is this on web or desktop? Currently, this is only on desktop, or sorry, only on web. So this isn't our web app right now, but we do have really good news that it will be coming to desktop as like an opt-in feature in the very near future, I believe with one of our actually next releases kind of thing. So probably a couple of weeks, I believe. So we'll just quickly go over kind of the different blocks and what they actually do, and then I'll jump into a demo where I can actually show you how you can access it and make any changes to it and stuff like that. So the first one is the letterhead. This one uses your company details by default. I'll show you where you can edit those. You can override them all in there. As well, so you can actually change any of these options per document as you want. I know this is one kind of like use case that we have had. Some customers actually say that they sell under like two different brands or something like that. So this way you could actually customize and have two different types of documents for each, like your under the different brands with the different logos and different things like that. The next one is the document title. This one then shows things like your order numbers. You can have a barcode for the order. You can also then include a lot of different information on this, probably more than you would actually think. So we'll go over that when we're demoing it. The order details then lets you actually choose up to 4 different columns. You can choose how many you want to split it up into. So you can have just one column, 2, 3, or 4, and then you can add a lot of different information on this. So again, it will kind of be based off of which view you're using kind of thing, but you can pick a lot of different things to show on here. Again, normally this would be like your on a sales order, your customer address, the billing and shipping, any contacts, stuff like that. The product table, then it's pretty self-explanatory. This is actually one of like the really coolest things that we added in here because this is really customizable, and I know a lot of people have always asked for being able to add or remove different columns on here. We've also added the ability that you can add line numbers to it, which is another thing that a lot of people have asked for, like on a pick list, so that you can more easily keep track of all the different items on there. And you can also, again, this is like the main one where it'll display different information based on the type of the document. And in the generic document, you can choose exactly which one you're doing. Oh, I see Brody saying, great to see line shading again. Yes, that's, again, something that I know people have asked for. So then we also have the order summary block. This there's an option you can toggle on or off to highlight it to make it stand out. That's usually kind of like that, the summary at the bottom that has like your totals and your like the actual prices and stuff like that. And you can also, excuse me, sorry. On the invoice type document itself, you can include a QR code. We do know that some regions do actually require that now. So that is a toggle that you can turn on or off for, again, the invoice documents using the order summary part on here.
And then we have, if you can answer this, or I guess cover this in the next section when you do the demo, but one of the questions we had from Trace was, can we add a column with unit price after discount? That's a great question. I believe we can, right, Phil?
If we can't, I'm not sure. We'll have to check on the actual product table itself. If you can, like built in there. If you can't, you can do it using the custom HTML and CSS.
Thank you. And I think that's it. I think there's some other questions that we'll just respond to in the comments.
Sounds good. So the custom text block is what's up next. This is just, again, it is made just to be essentially like a little text editor in there. You can bold, italics, underline. You can also set whether you want it to look like a header or a normal, so that kind of changes the font, like how strong it is and if it's bigger or smaller. You can add in like a little line here to separate things, and then you can also use like different lists and things like that on here. Usually, we would expect people might want to use this as like a block probably near the bottom of their document, listing any kind of like terms and conditions or like financial information or things like that. I've seen people want before. So again, this is kind of that spot where you can just then freeform type and it'll represent it just exactly the same way that you put here. And then last but not least is the HTML and CSS block. So again, this one gives you very extensive control. We use what's called liquid variables, which are these, you'll see these two brackets and then some text in here. And that's actually like a variable where it'll then, based on the order that you're on, go back in, pull the information, and replace that. Excuse me. We don't recommend, or sorry, we do recommend using inline CSS, which is where you're actually putting this little style attribute inside the thing. Again, if you're not a developer, this may not make a ton of sense, but if you are, then you can still do the other types of CSS. So like you can't attach a separate page, but you can put it in the actual document itself, but not all browsers may interpret it properly. So using inline is still best. And then just for security reasons, we don't allow JavaScript or URLs opening other web pages or things like that, just because, again, it could lead to like vulnerabilities or data leaks or anything like that. So that stuff has been excluded from the block itself. And we do have a great article that I'll just paste here in case anyone needs it, but this is actually where we link to with like the variables and everything like that that you can use to learn more about how to do that. And I should have just left it closed, but we can jump into a quick demo to show exactly how you can access it and then customize and use everything. And as I said, there are a lot of different customizations available, so it's probably something that you'll want to kind of jump in, play around with. We have a great feature that you can reset them and everything like that too, so if you play around with it and you don't like your changes, you can go back to what it was before. So how do we access it? Right now, the easiest way is you can either go into the menu and go down to options, and it's going to be under your order tab here at the top. You can also get to it by clicking on your email, going to any of the options in there, and then again, just under orders. And we've got this nice new tile here for the documents. Once you click it, this should be something similar that you'll see. Essentially, you won't see a full preview until you've actually modified a document, but once you do, we take like a little snapshot of it, and you can see, so I've modified a couple on here already. And you can switch between both. This is your sales documents on here, or your purchasing documents here as well. Now, before we jump into a specific document itself, there is down here in the bottom left, you'll see this document settings. There's a default letterhead as well as default styling. Now, this is something that will take care of kind of like all your documents. So clicking on default styling here, we can see I can adjust both like the font size. So this will make it small, bigger, smaller or bigger across all your documents. You can also change between a few of the different fonts. So based on what you like, and you can also choose like a different like heading color. And so the heading color is kind of like the more bolded text that you see throughout the documents itself. And when you save this, oh, excuse me, there we go. You actually get this really cool little pop-up. So you get this both for the styling and for the header itself, where it's asking, do you want this to override all your documents that you have existing right now? In which case you would just enable it for everything. Or if you want to just change these settings like on a per document basis, you can hit cancel and it'll only then do it on like the new documents or when you choose to use that styling. But I like this. We'll enable it for all of mine. So it is going to update all those. Now, the other one that I was mentioning you can do that with is the letterhead. And this is essentially usually used as like your company information. So from here, you can change your alignment if you want it to show up on different sides of the document or the block. You can also then customize exactly what you see on here. So right now, I've only got the company logo as well as my address on here. If I didn't want my address, simple as that. You just click the X and it's gone. Otherwise, you can then easily add in, if I want my company name, the address. I'm not sure if I have a website on here. Oh, I do. Phone number, again, you can really easily just plus and minus to add anything in that you want. We also tried to make it really easy that, like, say I want my phone number right after my address. If you grab these little dots, you can actually drag and move it around so you can reorder. I let it go, and you can see right on there now I've got my address before my website. You hit save and close, and then that will, again, update that. Now, I've already modified it once. The first time you would get a pop-up, just like we did with the styling, where it says, do you want to enable this for all your documents? Again, if you do hit enable for all, that will change all your existing documents to include that information. Otherwise, you can do it on a per document basis. Now, if you're curious where a lot of that information is coming from too, if you go into your account and then go under the global setting here, this is where it's grabbing it all from. So we've got your company details. So if you click on it, you can actually then set your logo, you can set your company name, your address. So it is pulling all that information from here, and you can easily then update that. All right, so let's take a look at some of the documents themselves. Now, if you have one of every single document that we have available already, because these are all just your default documents. Bless you. You can choose to either edit these documents or you can create a new one. So up here on the top right, we've got this little new document. And if you click it, it'll give you all the different options for them, as well as that new type that we call generic that you can also do. So if I wanted to create, let's say a new invoice, we're going to see it actually creates a new one in here. And now I've got this little number 2, so I can actually see that I have more than one invoice available. When you go in, I know they're both named invoice right now, but I can actually go in, click on it, and I could name this one new, or let's call it the webinar or something like that. So this way you can actually then see and differentiate. You can name all these different to make it easier to keep track of them. So here, this is the main document designer overall. Again, you see a live preview kind of with some sample information that is pulling from, again, like your company information. And then I believe the rest of this is just kind of like sample information so you can see what it kind of looks like. So this is, take that off. There we go. So this is exactly what it would look like normal. We can see on here that I'm using default styling, so it's already using that kind of modified color that I chose, and if I had chosen to change the font and stuff, it would all be changed. If I wanted to use my own custom styling on this document, all you have to do is click on Use Custom Styling, and then now you can override it. So if I save this document, and then I go into this other one, this one is still blue and purple and everything for all those colors, whereas the one that I overrode is now showing red for it. So again, kind of giving you that option where you can customize it as you need, or you can always switch back to the default styling if you want by clicking this thing here, and you'll see that it's actually updating right away. Now, another important thing actually that I haven't mentioned is, so this preview is previewing just based off of kind of like a normal letter size page. We do have the option that you can preview it based on, like, say, like a POS receipt, or you can set a custom size. Now, this is not actually setting like a size for it to always be or always print. It's always going to try and fit to whatever printer page or anything like that you're using. So this is just purely just like a visual thing so that you can kind of use it to plan out how you want it to look. Because again, like right now, I don't think this would look very good on a POS machine or anything because I can't see the subtotals, I can't see any of that, so I might want to go in and I could modify it. And now that would look a lot better if I was to actually print that out. But we'll look at it at a regular letter size. And again, I've made some changes. Maybe I didn't want those changes or anything like that. We have this little reset document down here at the bottom left. If I click that, it's going to just double check and make sure that I want to do that. I can say reset. And it's now added my remarks back in, which I had removed. So it's set everything back to the default. Now we'll go through kind of the different options on the blocks and stuff like that. So as I said, when I highlight over any of these, you can see how they're kind of like highlighting. These are all the different blocks that I was showing in the slides before. And if you click on them, it has the nice little helpful thing, click to edit. It'll actually take you into, so these two are considered a row. Just like with the information on it, we've got a nice little drag thing on the side. You can drag and drop to rearrange to make it look however you want. And then you click into edit. So now I'm editing this row. You can always see which one you're editing up here on the top left. And if I click on the one on the right, then we can see I'm now editing the document title. Now on here, we can see my letterhead. Again, I'm using that default that I had set in here. Oops, there, we'll save it. So this default letterhead that I had set here, but if I did want to customize it, I can then customize it myself. Maybe I don't want the website and phone number on this one. So now I can very easily just remove the ones that we don't want. With all of these, we do also have other options. You'll see some of these on the side here have this little option button. I'll zoom in. This little options thing. If you click that, it'll actually give you some different like some different things that you can change based on that specific part. So here I'm looking at the logo or the company name I could change or any of that information. So again, if I wanted to customize, say again, maybe I wanted to use this for a different company than my main one, I could actually change, put in a different logo, have that load up with a different one. You can choose what size you want the logo to be, and if you want it to be like above or below. Again, likewise, if this is it's Superman store or something instead, then you can quickly go in there, change that, and then this will only save for this one document itself. Now, if we look over at like the document title, so any of these ones here where you see this options and it's like something like this is actually a way that you can change, kind of like rename it. You're renaming what's actually showing on here. So in this case, barcode, while I am showing a barcode on here, the word barcode itself is not actually on there at all. Clicking on this, I can actually then rename it. So if I don't want it to say invoice or I want it to be like a special invoice or something, you can type it in and it's going to actually update on there for it. So again, giving you kind of just the options to be able to customize everything as you need it. Now, as you can see on here, the document title, even though that is kind of usually a smaller section of it, we have a lot of information available on here. So you can add in different things like the location from your sales order, the purchase order, again, your sales rep, your remarks. So while this is called like the document title, you could use it anywhere on your document itself and put in any of these different values. You can also then have multiple of it. So I could go in, if I go back, let's say at the bottom, I'm going to create another row. All I have to do is hit this little plus button, gives me all my different block types that I can choose from, and I can go into it from here. Now, once I'm in here, I've only got one block here, but you do have the ability of having two per row. So I can click this little plus button, excuse me, sorry, on either side. So on the left side or the right side, depending where you want to put it. And then you can choose again which other type of block you want. Now, again, I could have two different document titles on here and then completely customize them. Maybe I don't want the title on this side or any of this stuff, but maybe instead I want to know who sold it. If we had like a PO number or something on there, and I want the billing address. So even though these are two of the same types of blocks, you can actually completely customize what information goes in there. And if you choose you don't want it, you can always hit that little trash button. And another fantastic thing is you can actually even right in the middle, you can drag and change the size of these two. So if you need more information or more room for more information on one of them, you can drag and drop, and it'll remember that as well. And you just go to the top, go back, and now you've got that set up there. Again, maybe I wouldn't want that at the bottom. You can pick it up, drag, and maybe we'll put it there or something. I mean, it'd be weird to have the invoice on there twice, but who knows? I did see John, sorry, saying he's still trying to find the inFlow document designer. So that again, you can get to if you go to app.inflowinventory.com, go down to options, and then under the orders section, it should be the top one here on the right.
Now we do have a couple very specific questions. I don't know if
Sure.
I know Ileana and myself have been responding to comments, but some of them have been privately back to the commenter, so we do apologize. We didn't realize we had that setting on. But one of the questions was, is there a way to print operations on a pick list? And I'm assuming this would be manufacturing operations, which I don't know if you want to answer that.
Yeah, so currently no. That the manufacturing ones are not documents that you can pick as part of it, but that should be one of the document types that we do release in the future. And then yes, in that case, operations should definitely be one of the ones that you can put on there.
Another question is, oh, I just saw it, it disappeared. Is there a way to put a discount near the total so it would apply to the whole sales order versus each separate item? I don't know if that's possible with HTML.
Well, so I mean, yes and no. So I mean, the product table itself, you can change like kind of how you're ordering them, and again, I mean, you can change so you could have like the discount showing. But inFlow as a whole on the sales order, we don't have like a discount for a total order. It is per line item. So the only way if you really wanted to do like an order discount would be if you create like a service item and then add that as like your add that to the sales order, sorry, as like a product, and then put like a negative amount on there. So it wouldn't be like a percentage, it would have to be like an actual dollar amount. And then in that case, then you could still show that on there, but it would look like a product. That is the
And then
answer.
kind of to go back, thank you, Phil. To kind of go back to, I think, one of the earlier questions, because we said it's definitely either possible or through HTML of showing a unit price after discount. Where I just have our senior PM messaging me to confirm that yes, it is possible to do it when you click on options for unit price and then to show unit price after discount.
There you go. So yeah, so in the product details section itself, the product list, as I said, clicking on unit price, include discount would be the option. So that way it can actually update and include it in there. I don't know if we actually, oh, we do show. So here the discount's 306, including it, it would be 49.98 instead. So cool. Again, there's so many different things. It's hard to keep track of them all. Since I'm on this page, actually, I might as well show. Again, here you can see any of these ones that have the little pencil beside them, because that's like the table. Sorry, the column's name. You can again rename those. So you can put in anything that you want as well too, and it does give you an option to reset to default as well. And if you hover over them, actually what's really nice, so if let's just say unit names or something. We'll just make it something completely different. When you hover over it, you can actually see the original name below it, so you might not get confused at what it might have been or what it was. As I know somebody had pointed out as well too, so having the stripes on the lines, this is only 3 lines, but it does then every other line add in the something just to make it a little more differentiated. As well, adding on a line count is really nice for a lot of them too, where you get the numbers going down, so you can kind of keep track of the products more easily that way. And then, so just like all the other ones, again, we've got lots of different options you can add on there. Again, you can resize any of the columns as you need to, so you can give more space if you have really long product names or something like that. You can give them more space. And then something that's actually really cool with this that we went over actually with a customer the other day is that this whole section kind of thing has a whole bunch of different options available. So right now, when I'm looking at, so this is throwing me off because this is the products, not units. I'll switch it back, but the products, we're actually showing in here right now an image for them, which you can turn on or off if you don't want to have images or anything like that. But I'm showing the name, the SKU, and the serials all in this one column. I can also turn on description if I want, and again, this is a lot of information all at once, and so it may make those columns or rows a lot bigger. But we also have the ability to put any of those different things in separate columns. So if you actually wanted them instead of like layered on top of each other, because right now I've got the name showing, then the description, then the SKU all in this one section, you can actually pick each one individually down here and add them to it. So I'll probably take some of these other ones off because it's long. And then if you reorganize it, so I've now actually taken that out. I can take these off of this one, and now I'm only showing the SKU and the serial number in this product section. I can then have the name separated out differently. I can then have the description in its own column. Again, we've tried to give as many options available so that you can customize it to really have it as you would like. And then, so these are, so we went over the unit price one where you have the options quantity. That's just where it kind of like highlights it a little just to make it stand out. You've got the little box behind it. So again, you can turn that on and off as you need. Yeah. In terms of the other types of blocks then, so the remarks, again, this is the order detail block. So this one just really has lots and lots of different information that you can add on there. You can get the remarks from any of the different sections of like the orders themselves. So like your payment remarks or your return remarks and stuff like that. So you can include them all on there. And if we'll just remove it for now, and we can add in a custom text block. Again, this is then just completely free form text where you can type out anything. So usually I know a lot of people have asked to put financial information into it, and you can put in, like, we have this little line separator that you can easily put in there, or you could do like return. Excuse me, sorry. You could do like return information, really anything that you want where it's just going to be static. It doesn't need to change. That you can, again, kind of format it however you want with like italic or underline or anything like that. And again, you can also make it like a header. So this is now picking up that purple color that we have set for the headers and everything like that too. So just more options that give you the ability to customize it as needed. And then the last block, I will save that, sure, that we haven't gone over is the code block, which, again, if you're not a developer, you don't have to use this, but I just put these in as kind of some quick examples of some things that you can actually do with the code. So all of these on here right now are generated using only the HTML CSS blocks. And again, you can actually make it look very similar to what we have on like our existing invoices. You can customize it. You can do different colors. You can do backgrounds. Here I'm even uh, like making it have kind of like different like text effects and stuff like that. Um, and we can share like samples of like these kinds of codes and stuff with all of you. But one thing that I think is actually really useful that I would like to share with everybody, you can see on here, I'm supposed to have a company logo here in the middle, but it's a broken link. It's not working. So I wanted to show how you can actually use an image from inFlow already inside like the custom HTML stuff very easily. Um, to use it, all you have to do is this little line of code. I'll paste it in there just in case anyone wants to see. But essentially, this image source is actually what we're telling that we want to put in an image on there, but then I don't have anything in here, which is why it's a broken link right now. What we can actually do is, because you do always have to be referencing like an image that's online, you can actually use the ones that are on inFlow already. So for instance, if I want to use my logo, if I go to where the logo is, I'm using Chrome right now. I would assume it would be similar on the other browsers too, but I can right click on it and I've got this option to copy the image address. So this is actually just like a URL to where it's stored on our servers and everything like that. Now that I have that copied, I can go back to my document and I'll zoom in again. So under that image source, so just in between the quotes here, I can then paste that into there. And this we actually do a live code update on here, so it is previewing as I'm typing in there. Now it's actually inserting that image into it, and I can go back, I can save it, and we now have that actually set in there. So we're no longer seeing that broken link, but you can use images that you have on inFlow in then like your invoices or things like that again too. You don't have to have all this other stuff. If I took all this other things away, oops, I could literally just have that one line and then I would only have an image on there. So again, just different ways that you can design and set up your documents however you want to do. Another example is again kind of making like your tables look different or fancier or anything like that too. While it looks like a lot of things, it's actually just really going through exactly the stuff that we have on there. And we have all of this. We have examples of like how to go through each line posted on our Learning Center article. And again, you can reach out. We will do our best to help you. Again, hopefully most developers would be able to use this fairly easily. Yeah. So I've gone through. Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, Phil. Just one person. If you could just quickly show again how you got to the HTML section. Just for
So on any of the documents, it doesn't matter. So this was a generic one I had made, but like on the one that we were editing, you would just add it as an HTML CSS block. And so once you add that in there, we just have like a default comment in here, but as soon as you start putting anything, it'll be able to output, and you can, so very simple, like HTML, if you do in a bracket like B, you do it bold. So again, you can do any of that once you're in there, change that to underline, anything like that. So I've shown how you can access them, how you can modify them, but I haven't shown you how you can actually print them. So when you go to any of your actual sales orders or purchase orders, depending which type of documents you've modified after, you can still access them exactly the same way you did before, but you just click on the print button. I'll zoom in a little bit. And then here you're going to see, so this will show the names. I named that last one there code examples, which is why I have this one that you wouldn't have in your list. But like all the other documents, because I didn't rename them, you're seeing just the normal name. Invoice, because I now have two, because I did create two, you're seeing two. And if I click on it, it'll actually then give you a choice to pick between which one you wanted to print. So this is the one that we were modifying today. I can click on webinar, and then when I go to hit print, it'll bring up that specific one, and that's the one that we had modified live here today. And so yeah, so otherwise, if you don't see a number, you only have one there. We do also have a little link to edit your documents from here, and that'll bring up the document designer while you're still on this sales order. So if you did need to go in and modify something quickly, you could do that as well. Yeah. Think that is all the main things. I do really encourage everybody to play around with the document designer. Again, there's so many. I probably still didn't even go over all the different like things that you can configure or change on all these different things because there really are a ton of them. So it's again, it's something that we've tried to make as easy and as user friendly as possible. And as I said, if you play with it and you don't like what you do, don't be worried. You always have that reset document. You can just hit reset and it'll go back to the way that you had it before. Or again, you can always create new ones. Actually, sorry, that brings me to a good point. With the generic document, I'll just create a new one here, so I'll now have a second one. If we add in the product table, this is, I did mention this in the slides, but so again, with all your orders, if I'll zoom out a little bit, here we have your product table for your sales tab. Here you would have your pick list, your pick tab, or your return or your restock. So all these different tables, everything that you see in here would be slightly different. When you're on the generic tab itself, or sorry, generic document type, you can actually pick which one you want it to come from. So right now it's pulling from the order tab, or I could do the pick tab, the ship tab, return, restock, and that'll change what columns and what information is going to be available in here that you can then modify. Okay. I see a bunch of messages coming in. I guess, are there questions?
Sorry, I'm just responding to a few.
Sure. I see, I just scrolled up a little bit. I see Noah was asking, is there an undo arrow in case you only want to undo the last action versus resetting? Excuse me. No, currently there's not an undo for that. You could, I mean, if you do have the option of closing without saving. So if you had saved it previously and then you made one change or something like that, you can just go back, close it without saving, and then come back in and edit it again. So it might be kind of like when you're using Word or Excel or anything like that, good practice to just kind of click save every once in a while so that you have what you've modified saved there for you, and then that way you don't have to worry about losing it. Louise, in sales order or purchase order, when I add a product, I cannot filter product by category. Oh, yeah. So this won't change how you're adding products or anything like that to the orders themselves. It's only going to affect, so like I can't go into the actual sales order itself, unfortunately, and change what columns are shown here. But you can now add a lot of extra options on those printed documents. I know for actually quite a while when we made the change from, I believe it's down here, the legacy settings, where you had to choose whether you were showing the SKU or the description. This was something that was difficult for a lot of people because they wanted to keep their descriptions printed on their documents and stuff like that. So again, with the document designer now, you can choose to still have the description print there while you may be using the name and SKU in the system itself.
Hello.
Yep.
To show on the sales the print and email option.
Sorry, can you say, you're cutting in and out?
Apologies, my headset died. I was just saying, could you go into the sales order one more time and click the print or email option just to show the documents how you access that information. It's asking how do you open it, the documents to fill it out. And you actually don't need to fill anything out. It will automatically pull the information from the sales order to fill in the details of that document that you.
Exactly. So yeah, once you pull it in, so I can zoom in here. So it's pulling all that information directly from the sales order itself, and just replacing it with again, like so, like the name, the addresses, all that kind of stuff. That's what we have on the document that we had made.
And then another question was just kind of about watermark.
Can you add
Has to
watermarks? Has to reference. You could. You would have to use the custom HTML CSS block to do it. But I mean, again, if that's something that's online, like again, if it's an image online, you could just take that, put that in there. I have seen actually some people that were actually using this on our beta before we had released it fully, built like beautiful, like full page documents that had like even I'm not sure if people are familiar with like on our on-premise or the desktop version, like they would show like a little stamp saying like that it was fulfilled or paid or whatever on top, and that they had the documents even showing that. Again, it does require using that HTML and CSS stuff, but as long as it is possible, like the sky is kind of the limit with using those sections.
I know we have a lot of questions, but I'm thinking as well, we'll post the support email in the comments because I know we could probably go on for a while just talking about document designers. So myself or Ileana will post the support email just in the comment section, the chats. But I don't know, Phil, if you wanted to read out Jonathan's comment. I thought it was kind of
Oh yeah, sure. Actually, I see. Well, I see there's a couple short ones I think we can go through too.
Sure.
But yes,
Yeah,
I
we have
think I'm
time.
assuming you're talking that. I'm surprised Batman never retrieves his batarangs with a price point like that. Yeah, no, I agree. I always wondered that it's something like as they run around and they do all these things and they leave all these things, be like all this expensive equipment and gadgets and things like that, and it's just, I mean, I guess he's a billionaire, right? So money must just he's not worried about it. I did see though that Matthew had asked, can documents be specific to users? So right now, no, they are global. So anyone who changes or adds a document, it will then take effect for everyone. If you are like looking to like print like kind of like customized documents, you can do it kind of a couple different ways. You could each create your own, say like quote or something like that, and that way you could have it personalized and have your own like information at the bottom. If it's something as simple as just like a name, having like the team member or like the sales rep name on there, that'll get filled in automatically. So if you're printing it versus I'm printing it, it would show a different name. So there are kind of different ways that you could do that. Otherwise, yeah, creating separate ones per person. There's no limit to how many of each one of these you could have. So you could have 10 different quotes for 10 different people or anything like that. I see Noah was asking, can you link any website to the QR code? No, the QR code specifically links to the invoice. It is, I forget what countries it is, but there are some countries that require having a QR code on the invoices themselves, like by law, which is, again, something that we want to be sensitive to and cater to as well. So you can't change this QR code will then just link to the actual online document itself. Then I saw, can we print inventory with images? So you can you can choose on here to have the products showing the images, and you can change between kind of 3 different sizes. But this is still just like your orders, so both your sales orders or your purchase orders. It's not like your reports or different things like that. So while this can print them, I mean, you could add a lot of your products to like an order or something and then print it, and again, kind of customize what you want to show on there. But yeah, it is still restricted to the orders. Can you print multiple documents at the same time? I don't believe that is, we don't have like a bulk feature for printing things like that yet. Not of the different types. You can print, I believe if you can select like different orders and you can bulk print them this way, and it does work with like the new ones too, so you can still select any of the customized documents. But if you wanted those different individual documents, so if you wanted to print all of these, you would still have to do them individually. Matthew had asked, while editing a document, is there a way to have it not show on the print list until it's complete? Not sure I fully understand that question. So if you do want to reach out, again, email us support@inflowinventory.com, then we can definitely kind of dig into that deeper.
I believe it's more like a draft. At least I took it as such. So until it's actually finished, polished the document itself. So I pretty much explained that we don't have a draft right now, but we
Oh,
definitely
okay.
took note the feedback, sorry, to share then with the team. So appreciate that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. I hadn't thought of it that way. If that is kind of the case, I'd probably suggest while you're doing it, create it as a new document of whatever type you're doing. And then just when you are using it, like you could always name this something like draft do not use or something temporarily. Oops, save it. And then that way, when somebody is going to use it, let's refresh here. They'll see that, and then you can always change that again. So it's not like it's not like it's saved that way forever. So once it is fixed up and you're ready to use it or whatever, you could just name it back to sales order 2 or something like that. And that way, it might just make it a little bit easier to not have somebody use it or not, kind of thing. Cool. I know we're getting close to the end of the time. Oh, I see. Ileana had said that it's required in Saudi Arabia, so that's cool. Louise had asked if we can change image size. So we have the basic options on there, like I showed, but those are kind of just the 3 that you can do. Small, medium, or large. Again, if you really needed more customization beside that, then using the HTML CSS block, you can create your own kind of pick list and be able to pull the images and stuff like that too. And oh, Darren actually, I see, had a great point. The drag and drop, which we do have in the document designer itself, so you can move things around. You are correct. Unfortunately, it's not available. So if I had another product in here, you can't drag and drop these products. We are, I believe, working on, there's a project to change kind of the look and feel of the sales orders and purchase orders. So I believe that may be addressed in that, but I'm not on that project myself.
It will be, just to confirm.
There you go. Fantastic. So there you go. Look forward to that. That is going to be coming in the near future. Again, I just wanted to give everybody a really big thank you for coming and joining us, and a big thank you to Ileana and Katya. I know they were grabbing everybody's questions and stuff there in the chat and everything too. We appreciate your time. And as just kind of a quick teaser or anything like that too, is that with again, right now this is only on the web, but it will be coming to desktop very soon, and with that we will also be having another fantastic new feature where you can actually customize your emails. So we don't have an exact date yet, but it is in testing and everything, and so you'll be able to kind of customize how your emails come out and everything too, which will be really, really cool as well. So yeah, again, thank you everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.